the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Live from Peach Time Out in the heart of Times Square, you're listening to Beach Talk Radio with Kim and Ed Ryan.
And a good morning, everybody, and welcome to episode number 151. That's right, 151, and we are broadcasting live from Peach Time Out in beautiful Fort Myers, Florida. It is 70 degrees already, a lovely day outside. It's going to be a beautiful day, and we've got a great show lined up for you today. Coming in live in just about 5 minutes will be Tom Torgerson and his partner. We're going to talk about Margaritaville. And this is how it's going to work. Folks, you can text your questions into the chat box on Facebook, and we'll ask all your questions to Tom and John today. So first, let me tell you that we'd like you to share our page with all your friends and family, and, of course, subscribe to our YouTube page. We're also on the Twitter and the Instagram. And our news website is 100% up to date with all the Fort Myers Beach news. And that's Fort Myers, It's beachtalkradionews.com. And also, don't forget, tomorrow, another big show on Sanibel. We have Chauncey Goss coming on, and that means we're going to talk about water quality, of course. And Mary Bondurant running for city council in Sanibel. That's tomorrow. We'll be at the Dunes tomorrow. A quick thank you to all of our sponsors: Island Oils, Fort Myers Tiki Tours, Nervous Nellies, Margaritas, Wave of Vitality, State Insurance USA, Sun Palace Vacations, La Ola Restaurant, Tuckaway Cafe, Blue Ribbon Events, Sanibel Carts, and Beach Pottery.
Which I went to last Saturday, and that was a lot of fun. I got a tour around. I got to meet the gentleman who does the wood carvings. He's amazing. That place is huge once you get back in there, and they have a lot to offer.
So when we do the commercial for them, maybe you can talk about what you saw over there.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a long commercial then, because there was a lot of stuff. And I have the bracelet on that they so graciously gave me last week. I've been wearing it all week.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, how about a big artificial round of applause for our first half-hour guest? And this is going to be Tom Torgerson. And by the way, the background that you see here is that's Margaritaville right there. That's a lovely. I know it looks green to you guys when you sit down. I had to make sure I told them to.
Dear, you got us way.
Well, move over. I want you to move closer to me. Hey, easy. So you guys are going to get nice and close to the microphone, and it's Tom is to what's your name again? Kim's left, and then John Dammermann. Did I say that right, John? All right, you guys are going to get nice and close to the microphone. And I guess the first question that I have before we go to the live studio audience for questions is, how did you guys get in business together? Tell us the story.
Do you want to start with gymnastics, John?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, our daughters were actually on a gymnastics team together when they were youngsters. I think that's the first time we met, even though we both grew up in West Central Minnesota, 20 miles apart from each other, but didn't really get to know each other until then. And then we partnered in, I guess the first time was 2008 on a couple of projects up in Minneapolis.
Dear, I think we need to get blue shirts because you can really see the blue.
No, the blue.
There's no fading with the blue. It looks perfect in the background. I don't know, Tom, if you recognize that picture behind you.
I do. I look forward to the day when I can touch and feel it in 3 dimensions.
That's
well,
great.
You've been waiting a while.
Yeah.
Right?
A little over 6 years is all.
Yeah.
Wow.
So who wants to give us kind of the first question, the biggest question that everybody's been asking even this morning when I told them that you guys were coming on? When will the first shovel hit the ground? Do you know yet?
I wish we did.
We are aiming towards May, June, and it's still contingent upon a couple items. Our permitting is going very, very well. That's one of the items, but we don't anticipate any issues to finish out the permitting process. And then it's just down to financing. And with the COVID environment and the travel and hotel industry being the nose of impact on the financial crises, the markets are a little skittish. But this project stands out from most 98-99% of the projects that are proposed right now in the country, in that it's coastal, it's South Florida, The entertainment venues are almost exclusively outdoors. It's just you can drive to, you can fly to, but you're safe in the U.S. of A. And it just is appealing. It's leisure. It's going to be attracting leisure almost 100%. We do anticipate as the pandemic wears off, psychologically, that is, after it's physically gone. But after it wears off, we'll be doing some group business too, some educational type group stuff in the off season. But initially, just really catering to the leisure. And I think we all feel it that there's a lot of pent up demand out there for all of us in the country to get out and moving again.
So if you get started in this year, May or June, how long is the process do you anticipate before you'd be opening the doors?
Let's say we get in the ground in June.
Okay.
2 years later, we'll be having a grand opening.
Okay. All right. Do you think the pandemic is messing up at all the supply chain for the materials that are going to be needed, or
Cost and availability to a certain extent. The contractor is into it deep right now as far as bids go, and so we'll have a better idea. But as Tom said, the financing is in process. We've had good interest up to this point, so we don't anticipate that'll be an issue. Just a question of timing. And as he said, obviously markets are a little skittish with COVID and the impact it's had on the hospitality industry.
So, Tom, before we go to the questions from the audience, I'm going to pull up some pictures here, and I know people that are listening can't see it. So can you kind of take us through, this is the foot of the bridge there. We see the trolley sitting over there. What role will this area play in what you're building?
I think we're mostly looking in the forefront there at the Seafarers property. And that will really be the interchange redevelopment, which is now, as I understand it, moved into 2023. The schedule of that slid a couple of years. I think it had something to do with, I really don't know the details, but I think the county was initially going to run that project. And I understand now that the state is going to run it, and it has to do with funding and, governmental type stuff. But 2023, and that'll be mostly the interchange redevelopment, what we affectionately refer to as the oval about.
Okay. And you own that property and you donated it, didn't you?
On the left, there's a portion of it. The county owns the majority of that property, called Seafarers. And then we are donating the what was the Ocean Jewel property, which is right at the apex of the interchange.
Gotcha. So let's look at this. Let's look at this picture now, and that's some of the retail locations in there. This is also part of it, correct?
That's correct. That all goes.
And
it's all part of the main resort on the bay side of Estero Boulevard.
Okay, so that's where the hotel will be.
That's
all
correct.
right. So then I got two more pictures, I think. So now we're kind of looking at the hotel, and we're looking at Salty Crab, and then that goes up to the Mermaid. So kind of bring us back from the Mermaid. All that's going away?
Yes, the property line between the Mermaid and the Beacon is where the resort development starts, and the area closest to the Beacon Hotel will be the public parking lot that we'll be constructing and building. I forget how many stalls, 27, 28 parking stalls to the public, wide beach access, pedestrian-wise. And then next will be the beach club, the outdoor entertainment venue for the resort, which we also were able to achieve through the zoning process. I think 330 a day public entrances allowed into the beach club. Oh. Then approximately, pretty close to the Salty Crab. The Salty Crab stays, but and there'll be another beach access that we'll construct between Salty Crab and what'll be our new property line there. But then there'll be a beachfront, mostly suites, another 30 units of lodging.
So I just wanted to ask, the beach club is going to be for everybody or just for guests of the hotel?
So
Okay,
there
good.
will be availability open to the public, as Tom said, up to approximately 300
Okay,
in addition to the guests.
that's good because not every place allows you to come in. One of our favorite places doesn't allow you to come in unless you're staying there. So that's great to
where's
hear.
that?
The Hyatt.
Oh, the Hyatt. That's right. So real quick, and then we'll move on. Tom, where is the walkover going to be in relation to what we see here? There's going to be an overpass.
It'll be just this side, looking at the picture also, just this side of the interchange of Crescent Street. And underneath the pedestrian walkover will be the lighting for the interchange, stoplights and so on. I think yet this year and maybe within a few months, a stoplight is going to go in at that interchange too. We provided right away for I think it's the county that will be installing that.
All right. So let's go to the audience here, and this is something that you wanted to do, Tom. You guys wanted to answer questions. I'm going to back up here so I can see if I missed any. Let's see. Go ahead, dear. You ask a question, and I'll line it up here. You got a question? Go ahead.
So what is going to be at the beach club? You're going to have pools? You're going to have water slide? I don't want to fill in, but you tell me.
No water slides, but
No
there
water
will
slides.
be massive pool and obviously a lot of lounge chairs and also food and beverage available inside the beach club.
And actually, even projecting out into the pool, we've designed a stage, so we'll have live entertainment out there daily.
Very nice.
And are you going to have space for conferences and that kind of stuff on the main side? Like,
Yes,
to accommodate-
we will. We do have a 5,000 square foot ballroom, which will by far be the largest on the island, and it's wide open, clear span, so it's really flexible. And that opens up to the elevated terrace, we call it, off of the lobby of the hotel and the ballroom. And we have restaurants and bars out there, but we have all kinds of outdoor yard games and fire pits and wedding reception area and photo ops areas. It's elevated. It looks over Crescent Beach Park, so there's no obstruction between it and the Gulf. And that's, I think, 43,000 square foot terrace.
wow.
So you already answered somebody's question about, well, will it be open to the public or can you come as a guest? Chad, your mom's boyfriend, dear, wants to know if there's a way you can bring a boat from the marina and tie it up at Silver Sands. He wants you to tie it up for him. I guess that's not really a question. So he wants you to.
We're
tie
not
the
taking
boat up.
requests.
Yeah, what is
just
that
questions.
about, Chad? What are you doing? I'm reading the question without pre-reading it. Any packages specifically for the 33931 residents? I guess asking. She wants a discount already. Who is that? Who's asking for a discount already?
Yes, the answer to that is yes, 33931. Our team is working on that program, how to execute it, and locals that do have a driver's license with 33931 as an address will get discounts throughout the facility.
Now, where are we sitting right now, Tom? Where is this going to be if we're coming down the road from coming over the bridge? Which side of the road is this? I know we're kind of blocking the view there, but you probably know what it is.
Or?
What is it?
We are in the lobby of the hotel, which is pretty much at the corner of Crescent and 5th, over by the Lighthouse Resort.
Okay. Great. Very nice. So go ahead.
I do feel like I'm in there, too.
I know, right? I can't wait till we are in there. How many jobs do you think this project's going to bring to the area, not only in terms of the construction, but then the operation of the whole thing?
A lot.
Awesome.
Yeah. Good answer. A lot.
The impact.
So get your resumes ready, everybody.
Yeah, if somebody wanted to apply for a job, what do? They go on the TPI site or something?
They will. It's a little early for
premature
that.
for
Yeah,
Okay.
it is. But probably a year from now, our operations team will be vigorously boots on the ground and working that process.
So,
Well, the entertainment, there's great entertainment down here on the beach. So that entertainment's always looking to, come over and hang out.
So one of my favorite people on the beach, Barbara Hill, asked about the lazy river. Did you guys mention the lazy river at all, or is that still in the plans?
There really isn't the lazy river per se. I think in an early rendition, we did have one, perhaps. We went for a more large open pool, and one that I've taken a little heat for calling it this. Kind of a little more adult oriented.
Okay.
But it's not a water park, and we're very careful not to use
that term.
Yes, that label on it. It's really more of a club and a place where you hang out and just have fun, and very social, great food and beverage and views and live entertainment, wading in the pool. Children will have a great time there as well. You know, we've got some younger folk entertainment features there, but we really shied away from making it a true water park.
And it was designed really to accommodate as many people as possible, you know, with the idea that we wanted to be able to be open to the public. And so maximizing that.
Do you think that people were giving you grief when you said it was going to be more adult, that they thought maybe it was going to be like a nudie thing or something? Is that
yes,
what? Is that
I
what
do.
Okay, all right.
Are you really?
Yeah, well, of course, dear. What world do you live in?
Fort Myers
Come
Beach.
on.
Come on.
Get with the program here.
I just think, there are some places that have more space that do the separate kids area and the adult area. So, I mean, you work within the space that you have. And,
all right, dear, whatever.
Make it the bigger, the better.
So now where are we sitting here? This is Tom, pay attention to the show, will you? Where are we now on the property?
This is a really, really cool bar and restaurant, and it's the Land Shark. It's beach level, so it's got breakaway construction that we have to be able to have it at that grade level. So what that means is that.
Did you read the look on my face?
Yeah, I did.
what was the look on your face?
About the breakaway construction, like what?
So
and this is on the Golf side.
It is. Okay. This is right on the beach. This is really
very
primal.
Cool.
This is right side by side with Salty Crab.
Okay.
We'll be tight and good neighbors with each other.
Very nice.
And breakaways just means that all our equipment has got quick disconnects, and if we're really having an impending serious storm, that we need to get all the equipment out of there and allow the water to just flow through.
Batten down the hatches. Okay.
Yep.
So there were some other parts of your entire project off the beach for housing and all that. How's that coming along?
Challenging.
Okay. How come?
Well, there really are no programs that fit the niche for workforce housing. There's plenty of federal programs for low-income housing, and that's really not what we wanted to achieve. We wanted to go after workforce, the first responder type people, the service industry type people, and provide affordable housing, realistic housing. And part of the affordability piece is its location, that it's easy to commute to where you work, versus if you're, on the east side of Lehigh Acres, you've got a tremendous cost of commuting. That's considered part of the burden of housing. So location was really important, but cost and features, just a real fine balancing act. And for example, there are some communities in Lee County that have adopted what they call synthetic TIF to assist developers to create workforce housing. Cape Coral's been really good with it. Downtown Fort Myers is really good with it, and Bonita did one project also with workforce housing. But Lee County is a unincorporated Lee County that this property falls in does not have such a program.
And the other part of that property is intended to have off-island parking with shuttle to the resort. So that's obviously part of the same parcel.
And that shuttle would take the employees that live there on down, so they would
employees
travel that way.
and guests potentially.
Guests.
Yep.
You guys want a beer or anything?
And we're just hovering on that project, considering all options, and something will happen there. It's 15 acres of really, really prime property because of its location. and something good will become of it. We'll do something really good with it. It's just a matter of time, and we don't know what the timing is.
So, Tom, let's talk about the traffic, because a lot of whenever you post something on Facebook about, or I do, not you, maybe you do, about the project and the updates, and, you get the naysayers about the traffic and that it's going to be worse than it is. And actually, it's probably going to be better than it is because of the way that you guys have designed things, and the foot of the bridge is going to change, and there's not going to be so many ways that you can cross the street, because one of the biggest problems that we have down here is that pedestrians are basically, it's a free-for-all. You're crossing the street everywhere. And I know the Public Safety Committee also was a little concerned, Fort Myers Public Safety Committee, that the county is going to have so many different areas where you can walk. And I know John Goggin is really concerned about that. If you don't have so many places where you can cross the street, the traffic can keep flowing. So I think I had a question in there. So
I think there's traffic improvements that are part of the project, that obviously the overpass, the walkway, controlling those intersections. And I think the other thing that's important to remember is that this will be a destination resort. So people are going to come here. Likely, some people won't even bring a car. People will, Uber from the airport, cab from the airport.
Right.
And they're going to stay here. They're going to, once they're on the beach, there's no reason to leave. So it really, the resort itself is intended that way. They're here for a week, or, their long-term stays, which makes a big difference as far as impacting traffic.
Well, and I guess there's a lot of coordination that's going to go on between, the building of Margaritaville and the redevelopment of all the other things that are going on down here. And I think that was one concern you heard people mention, was there's going to be a lot going on simultaneously, or
from a construction standpoint.
Yes.
And we've already begun conversations with all the different agencies on coordinating and mitigating impact as best as we can. It is an awful lot going on in one critical area of the island.
But it'll be, when it's done, going to be just fantastic.
It will be.
And there's going to be at least two more traffic lights that aren't there now. One here on Old San Carlos, and then the one that you were talking about down there.
Correct. Yes.
And then removal of the one.
They're taking that one out. Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Maybe I did. I forgot. But So what's the most frustrating thing for you guys right now about this whole thing?
The fact that we're 6 years into it.
Yeah.
We're excited about the project, and it's been great. It's evolved a lot from where we started. We've tried to incorporate really ideas from community members and town staff and everything else. But just the time that it's taken is obviously, that's frustrating. But it's exciting to be at this point where we're actually talking about putting a shovel in the ground.
So if anyone has any questions for Tom or John, you can type them in now. And then in a few moments, we're going to switch gears to Tom's other business and talk about that. But, I'm kind of surprised that you guys got into all this and didn't plan for a pandemic and lawsuits like that. I mean, what's wrong with that? I mean, don't you think you should have planned for all that?
You need a negative Nelly on your team. You need a worrier.
There's a pandemic coming. There's a chance for a pandemic coming on. Perhaps we should. How do you even plan for that? You guys are in the hotel business. How is it across the nation as far as hotels go and places?
I read Smith Travel is really the premier, probably sole data reporting agency for the hotel industry in the United States, and I just read a press release that they issued last week. And in tracking thus far with the history we have now with the pandemic, the U.S. Lodging industry has suffered over 10 times more than it did during the 2008, 2009 Great Depression, Great Recession. Yeah. Over 10 times, and it's still adding up.
Yeah,
it's staggering.
It's a cataclysmic collapse of an industry. It really is. It's you go to these central business districts, Tampa, Miami, and there just aren't people.
Right. I mean, and this is an open state. Can you imagine? I mean, how you're from Minnesota? Are you both from Minnesota? What's it like in Minnesota? Is it open, closed, halfway in between?
Well, it's open. It reopened. They went back into shutdown mid-November, and there was another 60 days of no bars and restaurants, and they have reopened at capacity limits right now. But it's been devastating in Minnesota. I was in Houston, Texas last weekend for a wedding, stayed at a 1,200 room Hilton, and there was like no one there.
Sure,
It was, the restaurants were busy, and Texas is another state that's been pretty open.
Right.
And the restaurants were very busy, but the hotel was incredibly quiet.
So we have a question from a young gentleman in Orlando. Have you done any big developments like this elsewhere?
Not of this single scale. Cumulatively, we have, for example, one of our districts that we're in the northwest area of Minneapolis called Arbor Lakes. We have at least 6 hotels.
6.
Yeah, clustered together up there. In aggregate, it's of the magnitude of this, but we were able to, do that in phases and stages over time. But not a single project that would add up to the scale of what this is.
Have you ever announced how much money you have invested in this so far?
Yeah, you did.
We have. I think we're at 52 million.
52 million.
That's where we're at so far.
How long does it take to get that back when the place opens? I mean, is it even possible? Or
I hope so.
I mean, just in this project, 52 million.
Yeah.
It's not even like you guys played Major League Baseball or anything, or something that you're. That's craziness.
I wish Tom could play Major League Baseball. That would make it a little easier for us.
And I wish JD could dance.
I've seen you play that. What's that game with the beanbag? What is that called?
Cornhole.
Oh yeah, cornhole. Yeah. Very athletic, Tom. Yeah. So, do you know what the room rates are going to be? Yeah.
Well, if you compare it to today, or pre-pandemic, it would really be comparable to Diamond Head or Pink Shell, and in other higher end resorts that are coastal down in Collier County.
Right, and you expect, if you could project like the percentage of people that are coming from out of state or coming from in state or coming from Lee County, how'd you put that business plan together? What are you looking for? I mean,
extremely heavy out of state.
Yeah, because you can really overcharge them, right? I mean, that's
90%.
Oh, good.
Now, the food and beverage side of it would be different. The mix on that revenue stream would probably be more like 60% guests and 40% locals.
How many rooms will be able to see the beach?
I think all but about 40. So we got 254.
254.
And those 40 do have back bay views.
Yeah,
as well.
Nobody wants to look at the back bay.
Oh, yes, they do.
I live on the back bay.
Yeah.
Really?
Tom looks at that every day.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean,
I guess if you had the choice,
nice.
Would you look at the beach or the back bay?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll take the beach.
Thank you very much, John. I appreciate that.
Thank you for your candor.
Yeah. So let's see. Oh, I know people are asking this, and I know I know the answer, but I'll ask it anyway, Tom. How many these people are asking when Jimmy Buffett's going to show up?
That was my question.
Go ahead and explain how that works.
It's a business. It's really separate from Jimmy Buffett Entertainment. And Jimmy Buffett has just done a magnificent job at creating a vibe.
Oh yeah,
that people just.
It's a cult.
Just
it is.
Yeah, it is a cult, and people want to get out of their daily routine and get a break, and the lifestyle that's portrayed, this vibe that's portrayed by Margaritaville is just what they're looking for. Jimmy Buffett isn't going to live forever.
I know.
And the brand is, you'll notice that the brand really doesn't promote it as Jimmy Buffett.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we went to.
So the likelihood of that is small.
Right.
Pretty small.
Pretty small.
Pretty small.
I don't know how many Jimmy Buffett concerts we've been to, and the last one we went to was a little startling, and that was 2 years ago. I mean, he's getting up in age. It's he
is.
Yeah.
But as Tom said, it's a lifestyle brand,
That's
and
right.
they've done a great job. Honestly, through the pandemic, the Margaritaville resorts have performed very well.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're drive to and people still want to get
Well,
out.
you'll be playing some of the music, though.
Oh yeah, right.
A little bit. Jimmy does have a history of just showing up at these establishments.
He showed up at our house.
unannounced.
He showed up at our house once and shocked the shit out of us. It was so crazy. So I don't know where this question comes from, but I'll ask. I mean, any plans to dredge the beach to accommodate more people? Could you get out there yourself, right, with your boat and just dredge the beach? Does that need to be dredged over there? I know the town is getting ready to do some renourishment out there, which is kind of cool. So I don't know. Is that a question that you want to tackle, or?
Well, the beach is pretty much off limits as far as you
can't go out there and
can't really do any kind of modifications.
What about spring break?
That's like putting us in charge of the roadway. It's just not on our plate.
Well, let's put you in charge of the lighting, because you'll do just as good a job as everybody else has on that road. Hopefully by the time you guys open, that'll all be worked out, right? You'd like to have some lights on.
Yeah.
And turtle-friendly lights for that season.
Of course,
Of course.
Absolutely.
So what about the spring breakers? Is that going to be, it won't be a spring break crowd, right? It's going to be too expensive for them.
Well, I think March will be the busiest month of the year, just from a seasonal standpoint. We expect the resort to really have a pretty level occupancy year-round, but still, nonetheless, rates and
I'm not asking that
will
question.
peak in March. But it's not going to be kids. It's not going to be kids driven. It's going to be people of our age, 40s, 30s, 40s, 50s. And 60s.
I like the 40s.
Will it be
a good idea?
Will there be an age requirement to reserve a room?
No. Well, yes, there is a minimum.
Yeah.
Right.
What is the age now? I mean,
there's no maximum.
Is there? Is there? I mean,
we have defibrillators.
Yeah, good,
I think
good,
for
good.
some
You'll
it's
have
21,
AEDs.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Some of the I think most
it's
use
selective.
21 as their.
John, do you live down here now, or?
Yes, my wife and I live over on the Caloosahatchee River, just off island, about 10 minutes.
Very nice, very nice. And how long have you lived here?
We moved here in November of 2013, so it's a little over 7 years. Tom and I were neighbors and 5 minutes apart from each other in Minnesota, and
No
now
kidding.
we're 10 minutes apart
If
without
you,
really planning it.
could you beat him in a game of cornhole, or?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10.
Well, I wanted to
Do you
ask.
think you could do more push-ups than him?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. How many you think you can do in a minute compared to him?
Well, he
That's
could
chest to
probably
the
only
ground
do
push-ups.
3.
Wow.
So I could do double that, I'm sure.
All right, 3 and 6. Did
So are you still doing your walk on the beach?
I've gotten into bicycling.
Yeah.
I've really converted
On the
it
beach?
a little bit, but mostly on the road. But
Okay.
I've got a big fat tire.
Good. Do you
non-assisted.
wear a helmet?
He does
I
not.
don't, and people just tell me I'm crazy.
I have a story for you that will change your mind on
really?
that. Yep.
All right, I'm not asking any of those questions, Jim. Knock it off. Did they say if they are having the surf ride, or was that implied with the more adult angle? What is a surf ride? Should I not have asked that?
Oh,
Is
it's fine.
Is that an inside joke or something? Or
the Margaritaville resort in Hollywood has this what do you call it, amusement type.
Yeah. It's surf, machine made, created
so you can
surf.
do like
yeah.
the,
Oh, I
like
see.
You can ride the surfboard.
You're
It's
riding
a,
a surf. You're standing.
water
you're
attraction.
In place. You're not really moving, but you're riding in place.
okay, all right. So the grand opening party is going to be like huge,
Fun.
right? I mean,
fun.
where are you going
I
to have?
think groundbreaking might even be fun.
Yeah. Where will you break ground? Like, if you could get a feel for where what's over there now, where will the groundbreaking be?
I actually, believe it or not, just started thinking about that the last couple of days. John mentioned something to me. He said, boy, the day we put the shovels in the ground, we better have a hell of a party.
Mhm.
And so I started thinking about it. And, we maybe will break ground over on the site and have a bulldozer and a bunch of people there.
Do like a
supporting.
champagne bottle
and
break.
then maybe congregate somewhere else and have a little after party.
You're going to have like a gold shovel and
Of
the whole
course,
nine.
yeah.
I think Mr. Lalo is in charge of gold shovels.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. He volunteered.
So
I've ordered 30 so far.
how
Oh,
many?
nice.
How many closing parties will the Mermaid have before it actually closes? That's the big question, because they're really milking that, aren't they? No comment on that, or John?
Yours, John. Yeah.
Are they going to be able to save that, or no? Or is it just going to be knocked down? I know they
I'm
thinking
not
about it.
really sure at this point whether it will be or not. I asked Tom this morning, and and they've been great tenants, and they continue to operate, and they'll operate right up until the time when we're, I guess, ready to put a shovel in the ground.
Right. Yeah. It was an interesting place when we went up there a few weeks ago when we were raising money for the community foundation. Very smoky. Could be very smoky at times. So, Tom, is there anything that you want the community or 9 listeners and viewers to know about how things are going, and what you want them to know about the project, and how you want to keep them excited about it, and anything else? The floor is yours.
I think we're just really grateful to be where we're at. We're excited, as John mentioned, to be where we're at. It's the 6+ years has been grueling at times, been horrible, but it's behind us, and it's been definitely character building for our whole company. And our company's excited to get this going. We've got a great team. We've got a great culture. We're just thankful for the support and hanging in there. The governing agencies have been really great to work with during the permitting process. I think we have a great council. I think we have great leadership at the county. I'm just happy to be here. So I don't know what else to say.
Now, for people who want to follow kind of the progress and keep in touch with what's going on, I know there's a Facebook page. Is there a newsletter or anything? Where can you direct people so they can keep abreast of all the changes?
It really is our Facebook page,
okay.
and we've been cautious to not overly post and just put something out there when there really is something of significance. And hopefully, I'd say something of significance would be that construction bids come in and the project's feasible. Financing comes in and the project's feasible. I think those are 2 big milestones right now.
And I think our website will have, once we start construction, you'll be able to follow the project under construction.
In a perfect world, the front doors will be open when?
Said 2 years.
From today? In a perfect world.
2 years from June.
2 years from June.
That's great.
2 years
So
we
from
should
June,
do
that
a pool. Like everybody can bet on. I mean, not with real money, because you can't do that.
We should have started that a few years ago. Can you imagine?
So who do you guys like in the game tomorrow?
Bucks.
Yeah. Why do you say that? Because of Brady?
Yes.
Yeah. Bucks?
Yeah, the old guy versus the young guy, right?
All right.
I like Mahomes a lot. I mean, there's no discredit to him. I mean, 2 great teams, 2 great quarterbacks. Yeah,
I'm sure he's all irritated watching at home so that you picked the other team.
Hoping for a great game, though.
Well, John, we appreciate you coming on for the first time. That was awesome of you, and good luck with the project. And hopefully we could be there broadcasting live. I have to say, he's got
a radio voice.
I was going to say that at the beginning. He certainly could do his own radio show. So,
and I got to commend John. He's been a stalwart hanging in there with TPI throughout all this. Couldn't have a better partner.
Cool. And Tom, you're going to grab we're going to read a few commercials, and you're going to come back. Tom's going to come back with Mark. Is Mark here? And we're going to talk about Gulf Marine Yachtworks. Thanks, John.
Thanks for having me.
All right, dear, go ahead. You're up.
Right.
And we're going to tell you about a couple of our great sponsors, folks. And we appreciate Tom coming on with John. And there they are. I left them for you right there. I'm going to turn your camera around and stay with us, folks. Tom's coming back, and he's going to tell us all about Gulf Marine Yachtworks.
All right. So first up is Fort Myers Tiki Tours, open for business, and they are featuring social distancing cruises. You go out on this amazing little tiki boat, which accommodates up to 6 people. You go through the bay. It's an hour and a half cruises. They go out in the day. They go out for a sunset cruise. Multiple opportunities to take pictures. People will take pictures of you on the boat. You can find them over at Salty Sam's Marina. They provide the captain. You're not allowed to drive the boat yourself. They also provide the cooler with ice. And you can bring your food, bring your beverages, bring your family, your friends, bachelorette parties, girls' night out, guys' night out, a corporate event, small wedding party, birthdays, Father's Day, Mother's Day, all of Valentine's Day, which is coming up, which would be so great for someone to go out there and do a wedding proposal or a prom proposal if they're even going to have prom this year. So please give them a call at, 230-888-8255. 239-887-0042. That's 239-887-0042. FortMyersTikiTours.com. Check them out and please go visit them. Tell them we said hello. I also want to talk about one of our newer sponsors and advertisers, Sanibel Carts, where you can get a street-ready cart that accommodates 4 or 6 people. They're gas-powered or electric-powered. All you have to do, get on their website, make your reservation. They have multiple-day packages. They will deliver it to you full of gas or full of a charge, and they will pick it up for you. You don't have to do anything but hop in with your friends and leisurely drive up and down the roads. Get to where you want to go, park your car, and have a great time on Sanibel Carts. And their phone number is 239-500-CART. That's 239-500-CART. Or you can find them at sanibel-carts.com. All right, back to you in the studio.
Lovely job. We got one more to tell you about before we get back to our interview with Tom, and it's, of course, Island Oils LLC. We appreciate the fact that these guys have been one of our sponsors for such a long time. Of course, Island Oils LLC, they have this bug spray that, keeps off the bugs. It keeps off the no-see-ums. It keeps off the frogs. It keeps off the lizards. It keeps off the gators. Anything you got crawling on you, any kind of reptile or maybe not reptiles, but for sure bugs and stuff. All you need to do is go to islandoilsllc.com and place an order. You don't get a discount or anything because, you get what you pay for. So get the good stuff and keep the bugs off. And reptiles. It keeps off gators. Those
pesky iguanas.
Those pesky gators. The green iguanas that. All of that stuff.
Climbing all over you all the time.
You can also go to don'titchit.com and place your order. It's made in Florida by Floridians because you know why? Floridians come from Florida. That's where they come from. It's Island Oils LLC. Wow. If you don't place an order today, the bugs are going to be climbing up your nose and under your underarms and in your crotch and everywhere. And the last place you want the bugs to be crawling is in your backside and stuff like that.
Why do you always have to bring it down?
It's called living the commercial, dear. You got to make sure the commercials stand out.
Can't you be funny without being gross?
The commercials stand out. The last thing you want is a bug in your crotch. I'm not saying you should spray the bug spray in your crotch, but
all right. So let's move on to our guests. It keeps the bugs away.
You'll never have to worry about bugs in your area if you. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. This is episode number 151, and before we bring our guests back on the show, we want to remind you all that tomorrow we'll be broadcasting live from our new show and episode number 3 from the island of Sanibel. Thank you, Debbie, very much. She says I'm hilarious. Yeah.
Well, I'll send them to your house then.
Aww.
Hey, have you ever heard of Have you heard of the Southwest Florida Parrot Head Club? Because you should be a member.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Why are you throwing the commercials on the floor like that? How dare you do that?
I think you should join that club.
Well, we'll talk about it after the show.
Okay.
We'll talk about it after the show. Right. Tomorrow's show will be Chauncey Goss. We start at 10 o'clock because I like to go to church on Sunday. So we'll start at 10 o'clock with Chauncey Goss from the Dunes on Sanibel. And then
Chauncey Goss isn't from the Dunes. We'll be coming to you from the Dunes.
And then at 10:30, Mary Bondurant from Sanibel. She's running for council. There are three seats. Three open seats for council, and there are five or six people running. Last weekend we had Jason Mon on, and tomorrow Mary will be on, and then we'll have all the candidates on. We love the politics.
Yeah.
And I've been studying up on Sanibel.
The local stuff.
The question I have, and maybe somebody out there in our 9 viewing audience knows whether or not the county or the city of Sanibel owns the property in which the lighthouse sits. It's the beach, right? The beach, lighthouse is a beach area, right?
Yeah, it is a beach area, but I don't know the answer to that.
All right, dear. Well, hopefully somebody will know that. And behind curtain number 2, there he is, Tom Torgerson, everybody. A big hand from our artificial audience for Tom. And he's going to introduce his partner in crime at Gulf Marine Yachtworks, Oh, you're switching around on me like that. Very nice.
Oh, look at that.
And this is Mark DeBeer. Welcome, Mark, to the show.
Hi, how you doing?
Okay. Tom, tell us about Mark.
Well, or Mark can tell us about Mark.
Well, Mark and I were taking a walk one day. Was that about a year and a half ago or a little less? And it was a nice sunny day, and I don't know if it was December or January. And
Yeah, I remember what you're talking about.
Uh-oh.
December, yeah, it's like, let's go for a walk, and walking down Main Street, and he kind of points to this shipyard place and goes, well, this is for sale.
Interesting.
That
How
was
long
kind
ago?
of it.
How long ago was that?
just
About a year
about a year
ago.
ago. About a year ago. And Mark was living on Fort Lauderdale side at the time.
On the East Coast there,
So where's the accent from?
New Zealand.
Oh,
Ah.
nice.
Yeah.
What is the pandemic situation like in New Zealand?
There's not one.
Is that right?
No.
Yeah, they're COVID free.
No way.
Yeah, no, they're playing. Everything's completely normal life over there.
Nobody's gotten it.
No one's got it.
Reportedly or really?
No, there's no COVID in New Zealand.
How did that happen?
Well, they locked the place down,
Okay.
and because it's an island.
Island.
Yeah, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're COVID free. They're everything is 100% normal life over there.
Wow. How many people live in New Zealand?
It's got to be around 5 million now.
And nobody got COVID. That's amazing.
No, they did. Initially, yep, they
Oh.
did, but they locked it down and they got rid of it. You can still fly there. You get a quarantine, and
Sure.
they got
Sure.
a lot of procedures. But as soon as you're out of quarantine, it's normal life.
So how long have you lived here?
The Fort Myers.
Yeah.
About a year.
1 year. That's it.
Yeah.
And how did you meet Tom?
Well, through
That
my
a-
wife, his daughter.
Aha.
Uh-huh.
Gotcha now.
Yeah, that's how that.
You guys look like you're the same age.
That's not good for me, though.
All right. So let's talk about. So you guys decided to purchase that. How much did it cost you?
You don't always have to answer us
No, I
If
don't.
you don't interrupt me, they might blurb it out.
It's public record.
All right.
But
Well, go ahead and tell us then. Don't
we
make me look it up.
we looked it over, and Mark's background is well, you've got construction background and marine background, and he's a high energy guy. I would call it entrepreneurial in spirit, nature, and ability. And that's what really intrigued us. This boatyard opened in
I
1957.
was going to say, they have a long history there.
So I can tell you exactly how old that is. It's 63 because it opened the year that I was born.
There you go. There's a look at it.
63 years ago. And they built wooden hulls for shrimp boats. The company was called Driscoll that they built the boats for. There were 10 original owners of this boatyard, and they held ownership throughout until we purchased the property. Some were deceased. I think there were 5 still standing. One was 100 years old.
No
yeah,
kidding.
wasn't
And-
the youngest one like 72 or
Yeah.
second youngest? So they were like,
Well,
we
there's
got to get out
there's
of
actually
this.
second generation involved too.
Wow.
But the 100-year-old actually went to the attorney office to sign the papers for the closing.
Damn.
Nice.
Good for him.
So these guys are in it, for that long haul, and it was really time,
long haul.
It was really time to reinvent the yard. And Mark and I on that walk, and we just look at it, and its location, its scale of size, its access to water, deep water, its dock system. Just all the kind of the infrastructure, the things that you can't replace, really caught our attention. But it needed a little TLC.
Yeah. What was going on at the location when you bought it? Were people using it? Was it being neglected?
I'll let you take that one,
Well,
Mark.
it was a functioning shipyard.
Okay.
Just needed a lot of work. It was pretty tired. Nothing had really been upgraded in a long time. But it was a functioning shipyard, just like it is now.
So I don't know if you can see it from there, Tom. We got it in the background, and so how many boats does it fit there, and how big
Well,
are the,
what are some of the services that are offered there? Like what you can get the boats repaired for people who don't know, like me. I had to look it up because I don't have a boat, but for people who do, they need to get them repaired.
Right. So multiple reasons to get your boat hauled out. We do a lot of surveys that can be for sale, insurance purposes. Obviously, we do hauling and blocking can be for bottom work, paint on your hull, prop work, fiberglass repair, engine work. There's really nothing we don't do or can't organize. Paint work, you name it.
He's got pretty busy yard. The business is really ramped up. I think just the new blood, the new energy, the word of mouth. It's kind of one of these businesses that the captains and vendors that work in this industry are a pretty tight-knit group, and word spreads quickly when either good or positive or negative. And I can say that give a couple examples of Mark's leadership. One is the other day it's not too unusual that Mark and I, about 4:00 in the afternoon, will be standing in the middle of the yard, kind of recapping the day and having a Miller Lite and just chatting. And the employees are pretty much all left, and we're just kind of winding down the yard. And there could be a couple of customers there. And this one yacht owner came over and started talking with us. So the three of us are standing in the yard there. And Mark was starting to introduce me, and I just said, yeah, I'm the yard maintenance guy here. And Mark snickers a little bit. He says he's really the owner. And at any rate, so we continued on conversation, had a good conversation, but Mark got called away by another yacht owner. And this gentleman was talking to me. He says, Tom, I got to tell you, I have not seen anything like this. These people are so energetic, so helpful. And he said, I'll give you an example of something that you just don't see nowadays, is that when a yacht is pulling up in the yard or towards the dock, and, the yard is pretty long. It's 600 feet plus another 150 feet of dock. So, it's a pretty good stretch from one end of the yard to the other. And as a yacht approaches the dock, he says unequivocally, the staff drops everything they're doing and they start running to the dock. Mm-hmm. They don't walk fast. He says, they run and they greet these people. They dock their boat and take care of them, and then work to get them hauled out of the water. But they run. He said, you just how do you make that happen? And it's this guy that makes that happen. It's a positive work environment, and good employee, not good employees. Happy employees do good work.
Right. And I've been trying to get her a little more happier, so she gets we get a little more positive work out of her for the show. So how many employees do you have?
I think we're at about 12 or 13.
And they get more than minimum wage, I hope? Or
Oh, yeah.
So
but there's a lot of vendors in addition. We have subcontractors, a long list of subcontractors that come into the yard. For example, Diversified is another shipyard, right next door to us, or a couple doors down. But their yard's pretty small, but they service a lot of different manufacturing brands, and they're in our yard almost every week and sometimes daily, working on vessels, and their yard's kind of small, but we work really well together. We can handle a lot more yachts than they can. Some of the work we do ourselves, some of the work we contract through them. One of the things that kind of captured our interest when we looked to buy this property was that there's fewer and fewer boat yards in Florida every year, because basically they're prime waterfront properties that big tall condominiums go on, and they get rezoned and repurposed, and there's a higher and better use, and so we looked at that as a positive to help our business, because we're into this as a shipyard for long term.
What size boats can you accommodate?
It's kind of a weight limit issue. Like our lift is 150 ton lift. Mm-hmm. So depending on what the vessel is made of, that could potentially be up to about 120 foot, if it was a light construction. And we actually have a limit on the other end too, which is we can't really haul anything less than about.
That's too little.
That's too small.
No dinghy boats coming in here.
Yeah, unfortunately we can't do dinghies. But Yeah, 36 foot is the smallest, say, sail vessel we could take, or shaft driven. That's
Are
kind
you
of the
guys?
limitation down there.
You're not storing boats, right? You're working on them and fixing them, and
We don't
that's
do
what the goal
storage.
is.
We don't do storage.
Okay.
Yeah, especially up on the hard, we can do some. We can do a little bit in the water, but no, we work on them. They're in and then they're out.
Okay, so how many boats are you able to work on at one time?
Currently, we can on the hard, on the dry, we can get about 15 in there.
The dry is where they
15
put the
boats?
boats, dear.
Yeah.
Just so you know, the dry is where they put the boats.
And then
How many?
we've actually got some new machinery coming. We've just purchased it. We're going to have to wait a little while for it, but it's going to allow us to probably get up to around 25 vessels in there.
Wow.
And that's with 13 people, but that's a lot of work.
Hopefully that number will go up too.
Yeah, it was. But I mean, how are you able to work on 15 boats now? Hey, John, with 13 people, or is it they're all working on one and then they go to the next one, or how does that work?
A little bit like that, yeah.
Okay.
You know, you spend the morning on this one, you get it to a certain stage, you move on. But you know, some of the vessels that are in there, these outside contractors are working on them.
Okay.
And we're just facilitating it.
So, what is the most expensive boat that's ever come through your yard there, would you say? Take a guess.
Oh, geez. Maybe
You know,
around,
that's really kind of interesting. There's a
you.
yacht in the yard right
He
now
said interesting. He didn't
that's
say
70 feet. It's a Princess, and it's brand new.
Does that mean it's pink? It's a princess? Is that what
It's
you mean?
made over in Europe somewhere.
Ah,
But it's a Princess motor yacht, 70 feet long, and that yacht is for sale, new at $7.5 million. So it can really vary. You know, a 100-foot yacht could be, depending upon age and so on, could be worth $3.5–4 million. Then you got the 70-footer that's worth $7.5 million.
does a 70-footer have to have like a staff and a captain and a crew? And
Well, it has to have a captain.
It does?
needs a captain.
You can't just jump out of your house and get in the 70-foot yacht and start driving it around?
Unless you're a captain.
I'm not a boat person.
It depends how well you want to look after your boat. You know, it's a lot of boat to look after.
How many rooms does it have, Tom?
I would say 5, probably 6,
5
maybe
rooms.
5 in that one, in the 70-footer.
TVs, the whole cable,
Oh gosh, yeah,
all that stuff.
Oh
yeah.
man,
Yeah.
yeah.
It has a bathroom?
It's nicer than your house. I mean, it's luxury.
Why would
Absolute luxury.
Why would you insult me like that? You've never been to my house. How do you know?
Well, nicer than my house. Sorry.
Come on.
Sorry to offend you. I never knew you'd be so thin-skinned.
So how many boats are over there now?
I think 10, 12, 10, 11.
Yeah.
And we got
Is there-
200-foot plus ones coming in here Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, next week I got a 100-footer and then 105 the following day,
Wow.
which is it's going to be up there.
How do you get the
Is
work?
there a season for it? Like it?
We got to
are there
work
busier
on.
times.
We
or
got to
not
work
busy?
on making
You
sure we
need to
don't ask
work on-
questions at the same time. We need to go
Please.
back and forth.
I
back
can't
and
get
forth.
a word in
Go ahead,
edgewise.
ask. Go ahead and ask.
Go ahead. You can answer.
Which one?
I'm sorry. Is there a season? Is there a busier time, or is
Doesn't-
it pretty
just from
consistent?
the experience we've had, you know, over the last 10 months? Not really.
Okay.
There's no rhyme or reason. It
Yeah.
just seems to be.
But in
pretty-
general, our
pretty
trend
consistent.
is basically our trajectory is kind of like this. So that's a little different answer, I guess. The seasonality, there really isn't seasonality, as Mark pointed out, but our business is growing significantly month to month.
One
Good.
thing I've noticed is that, and especially from the feedback I get from customers, I mean, we get a lot of great feedback, but the average boat size seems to be growing in our yard. Whereas initially it would have been, say, 45 feet. Now it's getting closer to 60. And right now, for instance, if you want to get work done, I'm booking into the middle of March.
Wow.
So it's a lot busier than it used to be.
So how do people know that you're there? I mean, these aren't all locals, right? They're coming from somewhere else to visit, or I mean, how do people know if they need work done
They
on their
talk
boat?
amongst themselves, right?
People talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not running radio ads in Key West or
No.
something, or something. You know, I mean, people just know about it. That's
We
just
haven't been
the way-
doing any advertising.
Yeah.
No
On the
advertising
Coconut
whatsoever.
Telegraph.
Yeah.
No,
So
word of mouth.
where are most of the people coming from that stop in your place? Give us some places. Europe, I know that.
Well, I see boats with Marco, Naples, Venice, pretty much Southwest Florida.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, longboat. Yep, longboat. There's one in there with longboat
Couple
right
from
now.
Longboat recently. Key West. I got one in there right now. It's actually from Lauderdale. from the East Coast.
So do they park their boats? I know that's probably not the right term, boat terminology, parking your boat.
Dock.
And then they take a Uber to the hotel, or they just, what do? They go sit in the bar until you're done working on it, or tuning it up, changing the spark plugs, or
You know what? Sometimes they do. They shoot around the corner at Dock Fords or
Nice.
one of the places around the corner, and they get a meal and they come back and jump back in it and head off. Other times, hotel, whatever.
So
It's
is
all
it an
different.
overnight stay sometimes? Because we'll go back to them and say, listen, it's the transmission and you got a couple flat tires. It's going to take 48 hours. Is that sometimes like,
Majority of the time.
oh, it is.
Yeah, most of the work's going to take longer than a week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, majority of the time.
You're rubbing plankton off the bottom of it when it comes out and all that crap?
Yeah, some of these owners, some of them times they don't take the greatest care of the underside.
Well,
of the
how do
boat.
you lift up a
Sometimes there's
70-foot
bit
boat
of a
to?
reef under there.
I think you have to put on a snorkel, go down and scrub the underside of the boat.
Do you think these people are keeping their yachts at their house somewhere where they live, in their backyard, or they're on the
I
water?
They
apologize.
should be diving them, even with the bottom paint on there, which is an anti-fouling coating.
Yeah,
You still
of
need
course
to
it is.
dive it to go down there and remove.
How often?
Around here, once a month.
Once a month. Wow. Do you dive down on your
during
boat
summer,
and
even
wipe
more.
it down, or you have people
Yeah,
for
I'm
that?
in the, right on the bay, so we have tremendous current at our house, and the organisms just, the barnacles love
It's just-
current because
No kidding.
that the food is in the current. So I have to have it dove on every 2 weeks.
Wow. How
So
long
there's
is it?
there's like one or two guys or girls
Yeah,
that
no,
are
there's a
just
company.
boat
Oh,
cleaner,
yeah.
boat bottom cleaners.
Who would know to start a company
Boat
like that? Who would know? How do you come up? Yeah, I guess you got to
I
be in
think
the boat
if you're
community.
in the boating community,
Gotcha.
right?
Gotcha. So
It's a
how long?
niche.
How long does it take them to get down in the water? And do they have one of those things that stick up on the water so they can breathe, or are they going down there with a snorkel, or what's the deal, Tom?
They're going down with their tanks.
Tanks, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody come up with something strange from under your boat or something? The weirdest thing, like look what I just found stuck to your boat.
Well, before we dredged our slip out at our house, I was worried that they'd get stuck under there at low tide, but no, they haven't come up with anything too unusual.
Does it really get
Maybe
low?
a crab trap, a rope or
Oh, okay.
something,
All right.
Cell phone.
I think there's an inside story there. So, do you do any axe throwing over at that place there, or not? Is it?
No, not recently.
I heard you're a real good axe thrower.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nice.
Unique technique,
right through the legs, kind of thing.
maybe.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Were you at the? Did
Yes,
you break
dear.
the light?
Yeah.
Oh no!
I can't believe
That
you don't
was me.
remember
That
that.
was you. I
That was
remember
me.
the
This is
light
what-
breaking,
this
but I
is- this
I
is
didn't
what-
know who it was. I didn't
He
know
was
who it
one of those late arrivers,
It
like
was an
like
impossible shot.
like you're casually late. Everybody else is there for the half an hour, and you're casually late, and then everybody's throwing the
Trying
axes
to
by that
sneak in
time.
there and-
They're all standing forward and doing this, and he walks in and he whips it between his legs, and it went out the window or broke a light or something. You're the life of the party, man. You're always the life of the party.
Oh boy.
You
All
seem
right.
like such a quiet guy.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Hey, listen, we're one big open family on this beach. Everybody knows everybody's business on this beach. So, anything else you want our 9 listeners and viewers
You
to
should
know?
ask Mark how he met Sarah.
Your daughter. How did you meet Sarah? His daughter, Mark. We're getting into the personal stuff now. No more boat talk.
Yeah, well, I was actually down in the Cayman Islands on Little Cayman.
Of course.
Where they got a diving, fishing, a really old fishing resort down there. And I was working there doing numerous, jobs in that place. And Sarah came down with family holiday, and that's where we met.
It didn't sound. You built it up to be a little more exciting than that, Tom. Like it was going to be something crazy.
You got to
but-
add to that story.
Is he leaving
I think
something
what
out?
happened was Sarah went out diving one day, didn't she? And she popped an eardrum.
Oh,
Yeah.
oof.
And so she was all bummed out, and she had to stay back and at the resort, and Mark felt kind of sorry for her, so took her under his wing and taught her how to surfboard or kiteboard or
Good at kiteboarding and sailing and,
Very nice.
checking out the
so it's
island.
amazing what kiteboarding can lead to.
Right. I think I'm welling up now. I might cry. It's such a lovely love story. How long have you been married now?
A couple of years,
And kids? You have kids? You're going to have kids? Plan to have kids?
maybe.
What do you have against kids,
We
Mark?
got fairy kids,
I don't know what that means.
four-legged,
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
How many of those do you have?
about 3.
I hear
Cats
ya.
or dogs?
2 cats and a dog.
What kind of dog do you have?
Brown.
A brown dog. All right. Very nice. All right. Well, anything else you want people to know about the boatyard?
How can they get a hold
Yeah,
of it?
how
What's
can
the
they-
website? That kind of
How
stuff.
can they get a job down there, or
As a boat hull
Come and
cleaner.
see me, Main Street.
Main
Okay.
Street, which is
1148 Main Street.
right on the other side of the bridge? If you're leaving Fort Myers Beach, you make a right-hand turn, and there you are, right?
Yeah, we're right next door to
Always.
Summer Electric.
Always
Okay.
looking for good people.
All right.
Yeah.
And the pay is a lot more than minimum wage, according to Mark, everybody. So, well, thank you for coming on, Mark.
Thank you,
and
guys.
Tom, thanks for sitting in for the whole hour. We appreciate it.
I know.
You got the Margaritaville
It's a lot of
update.
work. I got to go have a beer now.
All right, all right. We appreciate you bringing the big crowd here too. That was very nice of you. So you didn't bring your lovely wife though. I'm disappointed that she's not here. Why is she not here? She's
I'll
busy?
let her know that.
Okay.
Yeah, we miss seeing her.
Yes, yes. We will love seeing your wife. She hung out with us while we were doing the fundraiser for the Community Foundation, which was very nice. So thank you guys so much for coming in, and have a great Super Bowl. What do you like, the Vikings and the Bucks?
The Vikings playing now, are they?
Well, you know, somebody said you look like the Vikings coach. I don't know what that. Have you ever gotten that before, or Mike Zimmer? Somebody said that on
No, I haven't.
on the thing there. So maybe it was a joke. A lot of your Minnesota friends are telling inside jokes in the chat room today. So, who do you like in the game, Mark?
The All Blacks. I'm not
I'm
even
sorry,
sure
what?
who's playing.
The all what? The all
Not
what?
even sure who's
Okay.
playing, to be honest.
I think he said
He's a
Vokes.
Kiwi.
Okay,
That's right.
all right. So
Right.
what do they play that
Rugby.
rugby? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a man's game, dear.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
That's a tough
how you,
game.
That's how you break bones. All right, everybody. Mark and Tom from the Gulf Marine Yachtworks, which is on Main Street, right before you get to the bridge. Go down and see them. If you have to have a big ass boat, don't be bringing your towboats or your rowboats or your little toy
No
boats
dinghy
over
decks.
to them. Yeah, so.
I'm not bringing my kayak over there.
How about a big? Okay.
Oh, there you
A
go.
big artificial round of applause for our two guests here for coming in. They did a lovely job today. You're leaving too? Okay. All right. Before we go out, I wanted to show everybody, while we have a big audience, a couple of things real quick, and we'll let you go. Let me see if I could do this, dear. Go ahead.
What am I supposed to entertain?
No, I just
No, I
wanted,
think you should become part of that Southwest Florida Parrot Head Club. That is up your alley.
Where did you find that, by the way?
I saw it on a Facebook post. It was, what was the lady's name? I don't know that
All right.
she's the president of it, but
All right. So let me tell you.
Linda Janis.
Okay. So you went to Beach Pottery.
Yes.
I wanted to talk about Beach Pottery. Go ahead. You tell us you got a little tour at Beach Pottery.
Yes, so I got a little tour, and you know, they were alluding, they have a big thing that's brewing, that they're getting ready to present, but I'm not going to tell the secret. It's going to be very interesting, and I
know
got to
the
see the area
secret.
there. But something's brewing there, and I got to see the gentleman who does all the wood sculpting there with the chainsaw. Such a sweet guy, and he was so busy working, and they just have so many amazing things. They have a lot of pots, as you would imagine. They have an enormous, I might get this wrong, the material, an enormous marble turtle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's huge. They have all the wood creations. They have all sorts of trinkets inside. They have this, what I liked, I think I took a picture of it and I forgot to post it, but they have the flower pots that you can get, and you can custom make, you can get them custom ordered. So real colorful, and it'll say, welcome to the Ryan home or whatever. What's that?
This is something that Alana sent over. I said, send us some things that we can kind of highlight about what you do down there. And these are a picture of the chairs that they can make down there. Did you
Yes.
see some of the chairs?
I did see
How cool
some
does
of the
that
chairs
look right there.
They're very cool, and they last. I don't want to get this wrong, but I think it's 20 years. I mean, they last a long time, and they come in a multitude of colors, which you can have ordered. And didn't he say it's from PVC pipe? I don't want to get it wrong, but
I don't remember. It was last week.
But they're not. They're not the ones that just blow off. You know, they're going to stay put. They're going to stay with you a long time. It's a classic design, so it's never going to fall out of fashion.
Those chairs look cool. So it's more than just pots. I mean, they have, I don't know how many pots, like thousands and
They
thousands
have
of thousands.
of pots.
And so when you're coming toward the beach, they're going to be on the right-hand side. It's Beach Pottery. and it's 17980 San Carlos Boulevard. So
and when you're going to go, just like it's on a corner, so you just go a little tiny bit and take that first right there, and there's plenty of parking. They're expanding the parking,
and they're super nice people.
And it's outside, so you can be safe and look around, and you can watch the guy if he's there. I apologize, I don't remember his name, with the chainsaw, making some amazing things. A lot of pelicans there. Oh, my favorite thing. Well, there was a lot of favorite things, but there was he does a manatee. It was so cute.
He did a manatee?
Yeah. Yeah,
All right.
It was very cute.
So the other one more business I want to tell you about,
Okay.
because it's important, because if you need somebody to take care of your computer or take care of your website or take care of anything that you do where you feel like you don't have control of it. When we were building the new website for the news site, it's like you can't do it yourself. It's not something you can get on GoDaddy and do, because it's not basic. It was complicated. It's Island IT Pros. They live on the street here. They live in Fort. Chris lives right here. He lives down by the. I don't want to tell you exactly where he lives. So you probably go to his house, but he lives right here in Fort Myers Beach. Island IT Pros. You'll see that they have a little cube on our website that you can click on, and if you need something done for your computer, or you need some kind of support, website development, something with your home, that kind of stuff, you need somebody that you can trust. And Chris is on the ball, man. He's on the ball, and he switched our website over when it just wasn't working the way I wanted to have it work, because you need to have those Tuesday and Friday headlines go out fast. You want the website to update fast, and he took care of all of it. And so you call him for whatever you need computer-wise. He does an awesome job, and he's local. You need to trust people with stuff like that. Like, go get your chair from Beach Pottery, get yourself some bug spray so the bugs don't crawl up your crotch. And then if you need somebody to help you out with the computer, there you go.
I know.
Chris.
We need to get an auto mechanic.
Yes.
My
truck is the worst.
Car. Ooh, I've got to get a transmission service done on it. I'm getting very, very nervous.
Is your hair okay? You're looking at your hair like you need to fix it.
I can't really.
So take care. John Lalo is leaving the building. Everybody. So soon as the guests leave.
He doesn't want to stay and talk to us.
He doesn't want to stay till the show's over. He takes off.
I hurt my shoulder.
Important guests leave. So tomorrow is a big day. We have a really big day tomorrow. Sunday.
I'm reaching into the.
Sunday
hotel
is the day where we have Chauncey Goss is going to be on at 10 o'clock. You can watch it on Facebook. You can watch it on the YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel so that the minute we go live, you'll get a notification. And Chauncey's he's like a temporary council member on Sanibel, because he's filling in as they get ready for an election, which I thought is a great idea. They have two people that were appointed when Kevin won the county seat, Kevin Rowane, and when Jason lost his bid for state office against Adam Botana. So now everybody's got to run. And so Chauncey is not going to run, so he's a council member, but he was a council member before. He's also part of the, I don't want to get this wrong. It's South Florida, it's not Southwest Florida. No, because I was looking at both of them
Florida Water Management District.
That's right. He's part of the South Florida. He's the chairman of that. So we're going to ask him some water questions. And
when we had him on before, he had just gotten into that position, and so it'll be good to get an update, because you couldn't really grill him on, not that we would grill him tomorrow, but it's been a while, so now he's all up to speed, and I'm sure he can give us a boatload of information.
Yeah, and I'd like to know why there was this may be an unfair question, but how many years ago did we have that nasty red tide? And then this past year was like, okay, here comes the red tide. So how much progress have we really made with what the governor's plan was, and with all this extra money they're spending? And so we'll see.
Yeah, we're going to ask all about that.
And then we'll have Mary on. Mary is a candidate. Mary Bondurant is a candidate for Sanibel. So that'll be tomorrow at 10 o'clock. We broadcast live from the dunes.
All right.
So who do you like in the game tomorrow night? Take a pick.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of either side, so
just take a pick. So did you see that on DraftKings? There's this furniture guy. I wish I could remember the name of the state that he's from. He bet $2.46 million on DraftKings. He picked the Bucks, and he's getting 3.5 points. And then if Tampa Bay wins, everybody that bought a mattress for $3,000 or more is getting their money back.
Wow.
I'd say he's probably got a 70-foot or 100-foot yacht that
I would think he probably could afford it.
We keep talking about a new bed, but that's crazy shit when a bed costs $4,000 or $3,000. It's like sleeping on a floor. Let's just sleep on the floor, get an air mattress for $12. I mean, that's a major investment. You can get a decent car for $3,000.
I think, though, that you do need to invest in a good mattress because you're going to have it for a long time. You spend a lot of time in it, and it's so important to get good sleep. And I got to get with Tom about him wearing a helmet, too. I think he left.
Yeah. Well, when we were on Sanibel when we were doing the show, you can see all the people riding by without the helmets. And, I'm not a stickler for rules and stuff like that, but the helmet is a must. Yeah. So, all right, everybody. We appreciate you guys sticking it out. Oh, next week, before I forget, we'll be in Santini Plaza next week.
That's right. For the
fashion show.
Power.
The fashion show is at 11 o'clock.
Yes.
We are going to do the show at 9 o'clock because there's no way we'll get through the traffic. I tried it this morning with no traffic. There'd be no way we can break down the equipment because you don't even like to stop at 10 o'clock. You just ramble on and on and on. So we can never stop the show when it's supposed to stop at the top of the hour so we can get out and get over there. And then we have to set up. So we have the lady that owns the Book Nook. She's coming on. She's going to be one of our guests at 9 o'clock. Why you got the fake smile on your face?
No, because I'm cracking up. They're taking a picture of the dog in that Pure Side Grill, the huge chair. It was hilarious.
Yeah. All right, pay attention to when I'm talking.
You're
please.
Rambling on.
So we have. I've forgotten.
Leaving.
Yes, now I forgot who the other guest is. And thank you so much, Kathy. She said really great show. I apologize for Kim's performance today, but thank you so much for tuning in. And by the way, Jacinta said she bought carved dolphin. That's nice. And a mailbox.
Yeah.
From, I'm guessing, from the Beach Pottery.
Yeah.
And 11 o'clock is a fashion show for the Community Foundation. And all of the baskets that they're auctioning off are over at the library, which is on Estero Boulevard. You can go on their page and you can bid on the baskets, and then they'll be auctioning those off. And we're going to do the auction show live on our page. So we'll be at Santini Plaza. And it was like I was like a fish out of water all the way down at the other end of the beach. Yeah. But they have a lot of cool businesses in down Santini Plaza. Yeah, we should get out of Pete's once in a while. Yep. Just be free. All right, everybody. Okay. We're gonna play some music on the way out. She's gonna walk off the stage because she likes to make a grand exit. Go ahead, dear. Say goodbye. Dance it on out. And we will see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock right here on the Facebook. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page. If you go on beachtalkradionews.com right now, you can subscribe to our newsletter, which comes out every Tuesday and Friday before 7 o'clock in the morning. And it gives you all the updates on not only Fort Myers Beach and the council and the Public Safety Committee, the Planning Commission, and everything that's going on, but also on Sanibel now. We're covering the Sanibel as the media empire explodes all across Southwest Florida in 2 brilliant communities. So we will see you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock for episode number 3. This is episode number 151 of Beach Talk Radio. We're wrapping it up, and you all enjoy the football game. Bye-bye.